we'll move on, proceed without saying another prayer and pledge for this meeting. We're going to do one every 3 months, which means that we'll be conducting official business. County committee, you're considered a guest and are here to observe only. Guests, you're on this side. County committee members, you're on this side. To this side here. Which I just stated, please stay quiet during business. For members of the county committee, and then I'll recognize them. And then, again, this should be an orderly meeting, so please don't talk over each other. Let's just maintain proper decorum. All right. I'm just going to give a quick state of the county update while we wait on credentialing. So if it's okay, I'm going to read it. I would like to give an update on the state of the county to start. Our former vice chairman and state committee man were removed by a vote of the county committee on June 13th. Tom Stearman, who is up here with me, was nominated and approved as the new vice chairman on June 19th. Carla was just approved by the county, or voted by the county committee as the new state. Carla Severin was just approved by the county committee as the new state committee member. For anyone who has questions on the matter, I'd ask that you contact your precinct chair or vice chair. Myself or Tom Stearman can also help answer any questions, but I ask that you first start with your precinct chair and vice chair. So as we look forward to the future, I want to highlight a couple of items. First, we are committed to following the rules, the OKGOP rules and Robert's Rules of Order, as we are a party of law and order. I know some of you find that funny. But in August, we plan to have brigade training. The idea behind brigades is that we will have groups of Republican voters who will attend city, county, and state committee meetings or state meetings to help keep a pulse on what our representatives are doing within our community and state. In September, we'll have a precinct training where you can learn how to conduct precinct meetings, write resolutions, and voice your concerns and the concerns of your precinct. In October, we will have a quarterly county committee meeting again. We're also targeting September or October for a fun community event. There will be more information to follow for that. We also need to start building up to the 2024 elections, where our goal is to have accurate, secure elections and to help voters with the information they need to vote with confidence. As we build up to elections, we will need people to volunteer their time, skills, and resources. And lastly, like our republic, which is supposed to be a bottom-up government where power originates with the individual, we too are a bottom-up party where power originates with you, the voter, who is represented by your precinct chair and vice chairman on the county committee. OKGOP Rule 6B1 states that the county committee of each county is the supreme Republican Party authority of the county. Because you, the county committee members, are the supreme authority of the party, or of the county and the party, I answer to you. I'm committed to continuing these quarterly county committee meetings where official business can be conducted. So if you want something presented before the county committee, I would suggest that you write a resolution, have it submitted to your precinct chair or vice chair, and then we can vote on your resolution at these meetings. So if you're a precinct chair or vice chair, would you please stand? First, I want to thank you very much for volunteering. I really appreciate the time that you commit to serving the party and really your country and community. If you're a guest and a registered Republican in Washington County, these are the people you should get to know as they are your representatives on the county committee. Thank you very much. You may be seated. We have a new website, wcgopok.com, which has a list of precinct officers and the precinct number. You can email info@wcgopok.com or send an inquiry through the website to get your precinct chair and vice chair's contact information. To further the point that we are a bottom-up party in government, I would like to read sections 3B, 5, and 6 from the OKGOP platform. 3B5 reads, "We believe in the concept of nullification as a legitimate tool for adjudicating disputes between the states and the federal government when the federal government enacts a law clearly not in pursuance of the Constitution and powers delegated in Article 1, Section 8. Section 3B6 of the party platform states, We believe in the 10th Amendment and provides the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. And we oppose any attempts by the federal government to intrude on states' rights. So I'll close with this. Bottom-up government is sometimes a difficult concept for people to understand because we live in a day where we've been taught an inverted hierarchy where the federal government sits on top of the states and the individual. This is incorrect, however. We have to flip the pyramid upside down because the proper hierarchy of power is that God created man, man created society, and society created government. Probably can't see it now, but it shows the Republican voters, the precincts, county, state committees, state chairman, state vice chairman, etc. And the same can be said for our federal government. We're not at that point yet.
No,
So
can we slow down just a little so that I can understand what you're saying? Because you can.
I'm almost finished. I apologize if
I
I
understand.
spoke
I
with
just
you
would like
guys.
to know what you said. So
Okay.
if you could just slow
I
down.
think we're live streaming.
I'm sorry. So as you move down the hierarchy, you have less power. Again, power starts with God and is given to us as individuals. And then we loan that power to those who represent us. So as you move, as I stated earlier, the beautiful thing about our party is we are modeled after our great republic, where the power originates with you, the voter. This is a concept I will continue to drive throughout my chairmanship. So with that, I want to welcome you to our meeting tonight and thank each and every one of you for being an active participant in our party. All right. Okay, do we have a credentials report? All right, we have 37 members present, therefore we have a quorum. And this meeting is called to order. All right, so the first item of business is to approve the previous minutes for the April County Committee meeting, which were distributed via email in the meeting invite.
But the point I'm trying to make in this debate is it got off the tracks. And from there, this side said, I'm right, you said I'm right, and we ended up butting heads and we end up in court. Now, leading into this, you now want, because you think that you're right, you expect the Republican Party to pay for your legal fees. I'm of the opinion, if this body votes to do that, you can do that, but I truly believe that you need to disqualify the people that are connected to this lawsuit because it's just unethical.
We didn't ask to be sued.
That should not be part of that, and that's the reason why I recommend
order, please.
to all of you to please vote against this particular bill. Not bill, this position.
Rick Fritz, Precinct 74. Have a statement for the motion that this was 4413. Quote, in an appeal from the decision of the chair, a tie vote sustains the chair's decision, even though his vote created the tie, on the principle that the decision of the chair can be reversed only by a majority. So we were sued fraudulently, and I'm going to use that word because the rules were not followed appropriately, and Julie didn't like the outcome. That's the bottom line.
So, okay, so we're going for and against. Do we have, so that was a for?
I'm for, even though I've repaid my part.
So
And
hold on. We're gonna go to someone who's against. in that
Beth,
speaking,
you
so,
go next.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have questions to ask Earl though, so I really wanted to do a point of inquiry because he was out of line.
Well, just hold on, and we'll come to you next. Yes, go ahead.
Rule 19H does outline that there shall be a hearing. Rule 20C, I believe it is, matters not covered by the rules, you would revert back to Robert's Rules of Order. Our rules do not provide for the process of a hearing, so you would revert back to 63 in Robert's Rules.
You're recognized.
Is it okay if I do this as a couple of questions?
No, to the chair.
Yeah, I guess.
To the chair,
To the
sir. Okay, this is Lachelle Griffith, precinct 32, and I have some questions. Did you reach out and ask several county committee members who they would like to have for the election board?
Yes, I did reach out to some.
When you guys met that night and you didn't agree, did you make an executive decision per the rules?
I applied Robert's Rules of Order 4316, or 13.
Larry, may I-
I'm sorry, 4413, which no one has been able to tell me yet how you break a tie. And it was not I did not vote twice. It was breaking a tie, applying the rules as stated. There's a couple of references where in Robert's Rules of Order where it says how to break a tie. That was one of them.
Well, the problem is we haven't had a hearing, and I haven't been able to get certain information, but I've asked this question. That night, did anyone give you their vote, and did you make a decision at that time?
Can you restate the question for me, please?
Did anyone text you relieving themselves of their ability to vote?
During the vote, the vice chairman made a statement that she, what was it?
Seats her vote to adjourn.
Cedes her vote, or
She ceded her.
Yield, no.
yielded her vote to the chairman, and it was followed up in a text.
Right, and it was followed up, and that's when you ruled, correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
Then it came back and it was appealed, which 4413 is an appeal to the chair.
I offered an appeal to the three other members.
Yep.
Yes,
Yes.
on the primary vote.
Which no one's been able to hear that because people refuse to show up to their hearings. Is that correct? I say let's move forward with a vote.
Second.
Is that a motion to move forward with it?
That's a motion to move
Point of
forward
order,
with a
Mr.
vote.
Chairman.
Calling the
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
you're trying to run a good meeting, and I applaud you for that. But you have a motion on the floor, and it's for debate.
You've got to
Any
come up here and
questions?
speak because I can't
Your
hear.
good point.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry. I'm deaf.
Is this a debate?
Yeah.
Sorry, this is,
Mr. Chairman, you're trying to run a good meeting, and you really have set the rules in regards to how we want to conduct ourselves. But it goes haywire. Right now, you have a motion on the floor, and it strictly should be debate. You're taking questions. Now, I'm not a bit upset at what Shelley just did, but the point of it is, if you're going to follow the rules and you want to have a good meeting, you're in debate. So the next person needs to go up here and say, this is why I think you should vote for it, or this is why I think you should vote against it. Not go and relive and ask the questions, did you vote twice, did you not vote twice? I'm just trying to help you.
Yes, sir. Point's well taken.
Stick. You're in debate, then vote.
right, let's, do we have?
I would
Hold on.
suggest that the chairman run the meeting, that a single member not hog the microphone at the expense of other members.
All right, next, okay, if you want to speak, I would ask that you come up here and stand in line to speak either for or against. Okay, so we've had, last one was against, or I'm sorry, for. Actually, it was against. It was against, okay. So, do we have anyone else that would like to speak for? Or in favor of the motion?
Wendy Stearman, State Committeeman. I believe that the motion was about the financial payment, right? Not about anything that has happened up to this point. Am I correct, or did I miss a motion somewhere?
That is correct.
Okay, so I believe it is standard operating procedure, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, that, as others have pointed out, that members of a committee, of a board, if they are sued in their job, they are protected. Were the members, what I would like to know is, were the members of this body, did they have the opportunity to approve the necessity of the legal expenditure caused by the vice chairman of this body? So I would not expect, and that's not a question, I am in debate, but I would not expect if I were to sue Mr. Sears in this body, that this body would pay for my legal fees. However, if I sued him as the vice chairman of his precinct, then I would expect him, as a member of that precinct, to be defended by his position, the people who put him in that position. So I think that is just standard operating procedure. I do not think there is a conflict here. I think it is unnecessary to debate how we got here. I believe the motion is just about the expenditure, and should it be approved or should it not be approved? That seems fairly simple. Thank you.
That is a point well taken. I do think we need to keep the debate germane to the actual motion. So, are there any anyone that would like to debate against the motion? All right, Mrs. Burnett. Given that you presented the motion, do you have the final word?
I have no closing comments, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we will go to a vote on the motion. And the motion is, can I see the motion again, please?
Sorry. Motion to ratify the chairman's use of funds to.
All right. And I'm not going to require that those members that were sued recuse themselves from this vote. I don't think that's fair to them either. So the motion is, the vote is on the motion to ratify the chairman's use of funds to defend the 20 members who were sued. The motion has been made, it's been seconded. All in favor of the motion?
Roll call vote?
You're requesting a roll call vote? Okay.
Verbal ayes and noes.
One moment while I look up a roll call vote.
It's probably unanimous.
Roll call requires 2/3.
Yeah, it does. Requires a 2/3 vote.
Okay, that is correct. Yep, it does require a 2/3 vote. So let's take a vote to have a roll call vote. All in favor of a roll call vote, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no.
No.
Okay, the noes have it. The motion is lost.
Division?
All right, let's do division. Let's play this game. Okay, those in favor of a roll call vote, please stand.
Count up.
Okay. Can we get a counter, please?
I'll do it.
Rick.
1, 2, 3. No, I know how to count. Never mind.
All right, hold on.
I know how to count.
Hey, let's call it. Hey, let's have order. Mr. Ford, you're welcome to stand up and.
Former representatives know how to count better than how much belong. You got it.
Hey, I want to
Mr. Chairman,
hold
I'll
on,
be
let's
happy to
maintain
count.
order. The vice chairman will stand up, we'll count. Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in favor of the motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
In favor of.
5 in favor of the motion.
How'd you get five?
Okay, please restand if you are in favor of a roll call. 8. Okay, we have 8. Okay. All in favor or all against a roll call vote, please stand.
Sorry, can you tell me?
25.
So the motion to have a roll call vote is lost. We will now move to a vote to, where are we, got lost?
On the original motion.
We'll vote on the original motion. Okay, so the original motion was to, do I can read it again, or do we know? Okay, I'm gonna read it again for you.
Sorry. Okay, here.
Okay. The vote is on the motion to ratify the chairman's use of funds to defend the 20 members who were sued. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no.
No.
All right, the ayes have it. The motion is passed. All right. You have a point of
Point of
information?
inquiry, Rick Fritz, precinct 74, are we able to move on with? Are we able to move on with
Yes,
this?
I do think we are
I
at
have
the point where
a,
we need to move on from.
I have a question for the treasurer. The
Okay.
treasurer's report.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Treasurer, would you please give us information on how donations are able to be made to the WCGOP, or prior to your taking over, how donations were able to be made to the WCGOP?
There were direct checks to our account. There was a Venmo account. There was cash donations.
Mr. Treasurer, when the information was passed over to you from the prior treasurer, did you have information on the Venmo account and the details surrounding it?
I requested that information, and the only information I got about the Venmo account was a spreadsheet that was allegedly printed off from Venmo. That was handed over to me in the transition meeting, but that's the only financial information I wasn't directly provided, or at least it wasn't provided in.
Mr. Treasurer, is that Venmo account still active and available to be used?
No, it was discontinued.
Mr. Treasurer, can you tell me from the details that you were provided where the donations from that Venmo account landed, bank account wise?
It was moved into our Arvest account, the donations were.
The Venmo account that was set up prior, where did the donations, online donations to that Venmo account land before you took over, before that account was closed?
It was a Venmo account so this was part of the contest, or the foot dragging, I guess, as far as information around it, was because it appeared to be set up probably for convenience, just through the previous treasurer's other activities and things he has with Venmo, right? So it's set up just for convenience. But he didn't want to provide me that information because presumably it was.
What I'm asking is, did that
other than just
Venmo account, did the deposits, did the intake from that online Venmo account go into a WCGOP account or an account that the prior treasurer had in place?
It went into the Arvest account. Any donations that
Who owned that account?
the WCGOP.
Okay, so it didn't go into the prior treasurer's business account.
No, the Venmo, the Venmo account that got shut down, it appeared from my perspective to have been like a side account set up for convenience to take donations for WCGOP, but because it was set up out of convenience alongside maybe other activity or other things he was using Venmo for, he didn't want to provide me access to that account. So, I mean, that's how I took it.
Okay, thank you.
Ben Rovenstein, precinct 23, point of inquiry, probably did that backwards.
This for mayor and treasurer.
Maybe both.
Okay.
We haven't done a budget for this leadership yet. And I'm not up here hammering you guys, but it sounds like we did a budget for the last leadership, didn't allocate enough money for the county convention, which we were kind of indicating. I'm not trying to go back and litigate that, but I feel like we keep looking backwards and taking shots, and we've recently approved over $3,000 for legal fees. The amount is $200 for a parliamentarian, $250 outstanding check, and we haven't approved a budget. I'm not hammering you, but I don't think that's on tonight's agenda. So I kind of feel like we're looking back, hammering people who have been here. We haven't done possibly something moving forward. I'm just maybe throwing that out as
No, your point is well taken. The only reason I again brought up my concerns were tabled on the meeting on April 10th. Yeah, I was addressing the concerns I had on April 10th that were tabled.
valid. And then, I don't know, going back to the attorney, can I do that? Follow-ups, whatever? Did the attorney I'm just asking, like, so hey, we're scrambling, did everyone agree to hire that attorney to represent them individually?
Yeah, yes, we did.
So everyone who's in the lodge said, hey, we want whoever you hire?
Yeah, yes, we did.
Okay, because again, transparent, county committee, we didn't get it, I wasn't involved in that. resolutions that we sent back to the state about their letter, asking us to sign the resolution. I never got the letter from the county prior to asking me to sign a resolution, which I didn't know reference to the letter. So
I do believe it was sent out to all members of the county committee, the letter. I believe it was, I could be wrong, but
I don't think it was. The letter from the state that I asked,
Yeah, the resolutions that.
the resolutions were sent out, but I don't think the
The
letter from the
resolutions-
state was sent out, circulated to everybody who's supposed to sign the resolution. So I'm
Yeah.
just, again, not hammering you, but we're maybe moving forward. I don't know, maybe we're gonna keep looking back, but we seem to be looking backwards at what has happened, and I don't know if we're doing,
No one
We're-
wants a budget about how much the future convention will cost more than I do.
well, and I could argue too that the parliamentarian that we paid $200 wasn't worth it, even though I know at the time she knew more than, I think you're doing a good job tonight. But I'm just saying, so there's kind of, you can go back and forth on, well, we should only pay her $50. So I understand what you're saying, it was too much money for you, I get it. But again, that's kind of going, let's truck ahead. So, that's, I don't even know if that was even legitimate for any of
I
that.
agree, I would like to move
Thanks
forward,
for-
there were a couple things that, and I did not tell Josh, it's not the way that I operate, I don't tell people what to do. So Josh gave the report that he felt was best, I trust Josh, and that's why he did it. But I would like to move forward, do you have, let's have one more?
I
And
do,
then let's
and
move forward to business.
Mr. Chairman, I'll be just upfront with you in regards to, I don't know if you want this motion during the treasurer's report, or you might want it under new business. I will give you the option on that, and you tell me. Don't know if I don't even know if I'll get a second one, but I'd like to move or make a motion, not this is the motion, but I'd like to just need to know where you want it, that we pay Julie Mercy's legal fees from our funds in regards to this lawsuit that was involved in both, in our party. So you want that under the treasurer's report, or you want that under new business?
Let's move that to new business.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Do you have, okay, and then let's move on after you go.
John Carey, 7-7. I agree with the last gentleman. I don't know what we're doing in the next 30, 60 days, but you need some money to do it. And this team needs to approve it. Do you have any activities that we're going to need money before our next meeting so we don't get into this mess again? And that would require, maybe the next meeting we have a budget, but between now and the budget, what do you want to do, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah,
And then let's do it.
Address?
Actually, since you mentioned activities, and this is something I did want to mention and I forgot, I would like to commend all members who put on the cookout. That cost the county committee absolutely nothing. So that's going to be good. Not a single dollar from our money.
Thank you. And we did have about 150 people show up for that, and we were able to raise a little bit of money. We do have, I think I mentioned in my address earlier, that we do have plans on having a community event in September or October, which we hope to raise additional funds. We also have set up, and you're welcome to open your pocketbook if you like and make a donation as well. So, okay, let's move on to the next item here.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Ken Collins, Precinct 51. I don't think we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report, and I would like to do so at this time.
Let me check real quick because I don't know that it has to be accepted or not.
The treasurer's report, there's nothing in the GOP.
I don't believe we need a motion to accept the treasurer's report, so we will move on. Okay, so let's see. Approved previous minutes, the treasurer's report. Okay, move on to old business. So the only item of unfinished business we have on the agenda is for the resolution directing future county conventions of the Washington County GOP. This was tabled in April, during our April County Committee meeting, and it was included in the meeting invite, so you should have received a copy of it. So would the member like to present the resolution?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sarah Burnett, Vice Chairman, Precinct 15. Mr. Chairman, heads up, I do not have a printed copy of this resolution since it was emailed out, but for your reference. Okay. I am not going to reread the entire motion since we have all had the opportunity to see it. I will read the resolved portion. Be it resolved by the County Committee of the Washington County GOP that we are committed to correcting the method by which the 2023 WCGOP County Convention was managed. The County Committee of the Washington County GOP will, by the authority given in OKGOP Rule 6 listed previously for the 2025 WCGOP County Convention, conduct an open and transparent delegate registration and election process, which will include but not be limited to these commitments. 1. Delegates must attend the precinct election in person in order to be a delegate to the county convention. 2. Each candidate running for the elected WCGOP position will have the opportunity to appoint a member of the Credentials Committee. 3. Each candidate running for an elected Washington County GOP position will have the opportunity to appoint a ballot watcher to oversee the tallying process. 4. All spreadsheets used to calculate allocations and to tally votes will be displayed in real time during the convention. 5. All spreadsheets, to include all formulas, will be sent to all proposed delegates before the date of the county convention. 6. The WCGOP county conventions will be open to the public with the audio and video recording permitted. The WCGOP county convention will be live streamed if possible. I move to adopt this resolution.
And I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adopt the resolution. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's a resolution directing future county conventions of the Washington County GOP. Sorry, you have a...
I move to make an amendment.
Okay. Let's open it up to, is there any debate on the motion?
I would just like to speak to the motion briefly. Since we met on April 10th, I was able to see the spreadsheet that was used at the 2023 convention. It was given over in the transition, I believe, and I have asked the staff, the officers of the WCGOP, and they allowed me to see it. I'm sure they'll allow others to see that. I just want to bring attention to the fact that when I went to click on the chairman's race, as I had seen that day when we had corrected the formula, the bottom 4 precincts had not been included in that formula at all. And you can see that because the error is still present in the 3rd delegate column, which was not used, but showing that this error was perpetuated. And then also to bring attention to the fact that the first time the vice chairman race was announced from the podium, it was also announced missing those 4 precincts. Oh, I should clarify, the 4 precincts were missing only for Chairman Murray. They were counted for acting chairman Johnson at the time. And then when we moved to the vice chairman race, the first time that race was announced, those 4 precincts were withheld for Vice Chairman Stearman's tally, but were included in then Vice Chairman Mercy's tally. And so this is the reason it is very complicated to contest an election from the floor, and I did it because I care about voter integrity. But for the trust of our voters going forward in this process, we need to know who our delegates are. They need to be properly elected by their precincts, known to their precincts. And then when we get to that convention floor, that information needs to be freely and widely available so that any questions and all questions can be brought in a timely manner so that the voters of Washington County can have confidence in their elections. Thank you.
One moment.
Amendment. Yeah, that's in debate.
Yeah, they must speak against or present.
I would like to present an amendment.
Okay.
Okay. I move that we amend number 1 on the list of commitments to, the gist of my concern on number 1 is that we're limiting it strictly to people. It said the wording here is that they must attend in person in order to be a delegate to the county convention. I don't agree with that. I would like to see there's still a method for people to be delegates, regardless of the fact whether they can attend the
their precinct meetings. And so I would move that we allow precincts the ability to elect delegates at those precinct meetings.
Can you address the chairman, please?
Yes. Yeah, I move that we allow precincts, as they're meeting, in the precinct meetings, the ability to elect delegates to the county to give people the opportunity to be delegates, regardless of whether or not they can actually physically attend the meeting. And so the process for that would be similar to what we've all experienced in the past, where we ensure that anyone who wants to be a delegate contacts somebody who is also a member of the precinct and says, hey, make sure you advocate on my behalf that I be elected as a delegate. So basically what we're doing, or what I'm proposing, is that we pull forward all of the activity that's occurred in the past where people want to kind of ensure there's more delegates after precinct meetings have occurred. Instead, we're going to pull all that activity to the precinct meetings themselves and have individuals present in the precincts advocate for those delegates. So in other words, the precinct meetings, at the end of a precinct meeting, we will know who all the delegates are going to be for the precinct, regardless of whether or not the president.
Josh, I'm sorry, can you restate the motion specifically?
Yes.
Joe Beffer, I second.
Oh, you beat me to it.
All right, please restate the motion, just so that it needs to be clear what exactly is being amended and the language that you want inserted into the original motion.
I move that Commitment 1 states that eligibility to be a delegate is contingent on being elected as a delegate in the precinct meetings. Election can occur regardless of whether or not the person is present in the precinct meeting, but someone can advocate on their behalf.
I'm gonna need you to submit it in writing. I'm so sorry. I cannot get submit it in writing.
Exactly what you want to change. That'll help us with actually understanding what it is that we are voting to.
Here's a piece of paper. Give it to me verbatim so I don't mess it up, please.
Or if you have it on your phone, that's fine too.
Yeah. Honorable can work.
You'll just be at ease real quick while we work through this, please. Again, there's water back there if anyone's thirsty.
This has to be right. Yeah. Put it on
Are above the budget that was previously approved, and I would like to motion that we get reimbursed the $1,800 that the county committee expended for Mr. Beffer's clearing. Second.
You can, but there is a motion on the floor and it's been seconded.
Okay, there's been a motion on the floor to reimburse the county committee for the catering fees at the county convention of $1,800. It's been seconded.
I second.
Okay, it's been seconded. Is there any debate on the motion on the floor?
Question, Mr. Chairman, that doesn't make sense. Tell me what we're doing.
A motion was presented to reimburse the county committee for
Funds that weren't approved.
funds that,
Who's reimbursing?
Do I need to get up?
Yeah.
yes, please.
Just like the county committee did not previously approve our expenditures for the legal fees, and then we wanted to vote on legal fees for Miss Mercy and Miss Wisman, the county committee did not vote to expend those funds on the county convention, so I think we should vote now to be reimbursed because we didn't approve it.
Oh, why, Mr. Beck?
The previous county committee approved a budget, and the
What was
previous
the budget?
chairman, it is a part of the minutes, and our secretary would have it.
I do
It
have
was
it if
part
you
of the
would like to
minutes
say
back
it.
in, when the
I'd
chairman
like to
was
call the
on.
members to order, make sure we're not speaking out of line or speaking over each other. Sorry, would you please Please go ahead and continue, Mr.
Just,
Do I have to speak? Is it on? Or is it off?
I believe it's back on. But again, the previous committee passed the budget. This committee has no previous committee. And my point of inquiry still goes unanswered. Who does Mr. Cruz represent?
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, Sarah Burnett, Vice Chairman, Precinct 15. I want to debate against this motion. Although I do not believe it is wise, nor do I believe an organization with $10,000 in the bank should be spending multiple thousands of dollars on an event that volunteers could have helped with the food with, and I think I could find a lot of ways to solve that situation without spending $1,800. I do not believe that this committee should retroactively go back to that committee or that chairman and how they ran it, although I do advise that our current committee be more transparent and accountable to the active county committee.
I'm also speaking against the motion, but for the record, the budget was $500 for the convention.
Is there any further debate? All right, seeing there's no further debate, the motion was to reimburse the county committee for the funds that were spent at the $1,800 that were spent on catering at the county convention. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. No. The noes have it, the motion is lost. Is there any further new business? Been moved, seconded, that we adjourn.
Move to adjourn, I'm sorry.
Earl Sears.